Welcome to Dig It, a real estate podcast by Hubbell Realty Company. All right, welcome everyone. We are here today with Easterseals Iowa, another one of our 2025 Hubbell Extreme Golf. Oh no, Hubbell Charity. Look at me go. Hubbell Extreme Charity Golf Classic. We need to make it a longer name. Participants and organizations that is going to benefit from this year's golf. I have Krable Mentzer, the Chief Communications Officer with Easterseals, and Sara Shepard, a parent who's utilized Easterseals Iowa for a number of years now, right?
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. It's really nice to have you. Will you share a little bit about what Easterseals Iowa is for those viewers and listeners who may not know about Easterseals?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first, thank you so much for having us
gosh,
today.
It's just good to see your face again.
It's so good to see your face too. And Hubbell's just been such an amazing partner. So we're super excited to partner with you on this again. So Easterseals Iowa is a disability services provider. So we serve the entire state of Iowa. We have 21 different service lines that support individuals with disabilities to live, learn, work, and play in our community. So we have been here for nearly 100 years. 2026 is our 100-year anniversary, and we're
crazy.
So excited to celebrate it with the community. And over the last, I would say, the first build was 2013. So
for you guys, yeah, we started the extreme builds in 2006, but yes, we came to Easterseals first in 2013.
So our first experience with an extreme build was in 2013, and ever since then, it has we've had so much momentum at Easterseals. We've continued to grow and evolve and really recognize the needs in our community and work to meet them. So that's what we do. We're constantly looking to see how can we grow, how can we support more individuals, and how can we provide the services that the community needs and wants.
That's amazing. Will you describe, so you guys serve about 3,500 people each year. Yep. And those can be people of all ages and needs. And so can you expand on that a little bit and also give people a feel of what the lay of the land might actually look like over at Easterseals?
Absolutely. So yes, so we do serve around 3,500 people per year. And just to kind of note with that, one of the things that I think is so cool about our mission is that yes, we serve 3,500 people a year, but our mission goes so much farther than that. When we support a kid in our child development center, we're supporting the parents. We're so that they can be in the workforce. We're supporting the siblings. We're supporting the entire family. In our brain health program, same thing. We might support a child who's experiencing some mental health barriers, but their school benefits, their entire network really benefits. The ripple effect. So we say we serve 3,500 people a year, but we really serve so much more than that. I've now forgotten the other part of the question, the landscape.
If you've never been to Easterseals, it is like this magical campground that just keeps going and going, and you think that you've seen the entrance and you're like, this is really nice, and then you get to Lake Cheerio, and then you get to the trails, and then you see the horses, and then can you expand on what? Yes. No, never be sorry.
So first of all, we are located on the northeast side of Des Moines, just kind of right by Ankeny off of 2nd Avenue. And so we're kind of tucked away. People don't really often know that we're there.
Across the road from Woodland Hills.
Yes, across the road. Yes.
If you're a golfer, Woodland Hills Golf Course is right across the street to the north. So again, you guys do have this kind of timber frontage where, again, you would drive right by it and maybe never know.
Yep. And we use about 40 acres of the land that we own. So we have this other 40 acres that kind of sits behind us, between us and that Margot Frankel State Park that we currently are not using. But so the 40 acres that we use it's just this beautiful place. When you come in, you're going to see a lot of people having a lot of fun. You're going to see a lot of buildings that have recently been renovated and or new buildings, thanks to Hubbell in our community. And you're just going to see a lot of people enjoying nature and enjoying the spaces that we have out there. So you might see people paddle boating on Lake Cheerio, which is our sweet lake that we have kind of right down in the middle of camp. It is really a hub of a lot of activity especially this time of year during camp season. There's fishing, there's paddle boating. We have a beautiful new pontoon boat. We do a lot of, we actually just started using it for actual beach swimming. We started that a couple years ago.
Cool.
And the campers love it, like cannot get enough of that. So that's been really, really neat to see kind of the evolution of that. We have our life club building back behind our Lake Cheerio, and that is our adult day program. So they enjoy a lot of the activities that we have out there as well. Then we kind of move across. We've got our Variety Rec Center. We have our Child Development Center, which is brand new. And something that's really, really neat. One of the things that we've always been really proud of is that we try to meet community need with what we have. So we look to see, okay, when we decided to open that Child Development Center, we started with like 4 families back in the early 2000s. I might get my dates wrong here, but the early 2000s. And what we were hearing from our community is parents with children who have disabilities were saying, I don't want to take my typically developing child and my child with a disability to 2 different centers, which I'm a parent.
Oh my gosh, so am I.
Can you imagine?
And no, I know parents that drop off in 2 separate places, and it is, I mean, it's a pain, and you're trying to get to work and trying to do all the other things, and you just want your kids to be together.
Yes. And there's comfort in knowing, I know anytime, like when my kids go together somewhere, there's comfort in knowing that they're watching out for each other and that they're there for each other. And so I think, so that's when we started the Child Development Center with just those 4 kids. And we had this conference building or retreat center, I think it was, that wasn't being used. So we put in some of the small potties, we kind of hodgepodged it together and made it work. And it just grew and grew and grew. And then we were busting at the seams. So in comes Hubbell. I know we're going to talk about the build a little later.
We'll get there.
But so we knew there was a need. We opened the program with what we had. And so that's kind of always been our mantra, is do the best that we can with what we have to meet the community need that we know is there. So something that was really neat about being able to move into a new Child Development Center was being able to then remodel the existing center into a brain health building to support the brain health needs in our community as well. So that's just kind of what's happening. I haven't even touched on camp. Then we have camp. Then we have Camp Sunnyside that happens. And a lot of people think, okay, summer camp, oh, that's just during the summer. Oh no, we have year-long weekend respite camps that are there to support caregivers to get a break from caregiving is hard. And
it is so hard.
Yep.
We had Alzheimer's on earlier, Alzheimer's Association, who's another beneficiary of this year's golf outing. And the amount of hours that go into caregiving, unpaid, I think the stat was 118 million hours of unpaid. And that's just for dementia, Alzheimer's, that kind of work. So I'm sure the stats that you guys have are equally as staggering.
Yes. And, many of the folks that attend our respite camp, the parents or the caregivers, it's their really only time to maybe go on a date with their spouse or attend one of their other children's sports functions or go grocery shopping. Yeah. It really is.
Just have a little solo
just time. To have a minute, just to have a minute to take a break and be able to kind of do some things that maybe they can't do with, one of their children there. So we do that all year long. So having our facilities able to run year long, that's not how camp was originally built. So being able to do that has been really wonderful and really offers great opportunities. And then we have a whole slew of programming that happens out in the community that never even touches camp. It's so funny because people a lot of times will be like, oh, everything happens at Camp Sunnyside. It really doesn't. A lot of our programming is out in the community, in people's homes, in businesses. We support people to work independently in the community. Yep. We support people to live independently in the community. We provide brain health supports in the community. It really, a lot of our team is deployed out and out on the, working out in the community to support individuals. So it's a whole lot of things happening.
I told you there was a lot that people didn't know.
All the time. Yes. And we even have a rural solutions program, which is so cool. It's a lot of times, farmers may experience a disability through injury or illness. It happens a lot. And the tenacity of the Iowa farmer, they're not going to stop farming. They're going to make it work. Sometimes they try to make it work in a way that isn't the safest. we can come in and support them to make adaptations to their equipment, to get the supports that they need to continue to farm and do it safely so that they don't get a secondary injury. Or so it is really neat. You know, I've seen farmers get up into combines using lifts. They have lifts that go onto tractors, all kinds of different things. And every single time I've talked to one of these farmers, they've just said, you know, when I was in the hospital with my injury, I thought that my life was over. I thought I wasn't going to be able to ever do this again. And Easterseals made it possible. So that's a whole other program that, again, serves the entire state that not everybody knows about, but it's just such a cool program.
Well, you guys do amazing work, amazing work. And I know one of the stats I saw, it was 93% of your donor contributions go directly into your services, right? Or into
mission delivery.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
Which is phenomenal in and of itself. How big is your team that makes all of this happen? Because I do want to give them a special shout out and kudos because they make the world go round over there at Easterseals.
Absolutely. Well, one of the reasons that we're able to do 93 cents for every dollar that comes into the organization being spent directly on mission delivery is that we do keep our back offices pretty lean. So we have a team of about 14 leadership team that manage all of our programs. We have, and then we have about 200 full-time team members and then about another 100 seasonal or part-time team members. So we really do have quite a large workforce. We're always looking to hire more people. Hint, hint, hint to anyone listening. But we, the real magic in our mission is our direct support professionals. Those are the folks that are providing care directly to our clients. They are our camp counselors. They are our supported community living team members, our vocational team members, our job coaches, the folks that are working directly with clients to support them to meet their goals. That makes up the majority of our team. And they are there is no mission without our direct support professionals. So in September, we look forward to celebrating them. There's a direct support professionals week and we do all kinds of fun things at camp, but there's really never enough we can do to thank them for how hard they work. It really is. It's incredible. And they literally change people's lives every day. And they just think it's just, you know, it's just another day at the office. And they'll come in and tell me stories. And I'm like, that's amazing. How did you do that? And they're like, oh, it's just, you know, that's just what we do. And it's very cool. So
it's wild what all you guys do. It truly, truly is. And I know, like you said, we've been working together for now over 10 years, going on 12, 13. So let's go into the extreme builds a little bit more. So in 2013, Hubbell, for those who don't know, who haven't listened before, even though you should, Hubbell does an extreme build every 4 years. And so that just means we're going out into the community, having discussions with organizations who have a need that needs filled. Maybe it's a new building. And that started in 2006. And we've worked with Anna Wim Housing, Ronald McDonald House of Central Iowa, Easterseals, On With Life, back to Easterseals. No. But so we came out to the camp in 2013. And I remember Rick and Sherry have shared their story many, many times of looking at these two cabins and just saying like, okay, can we do some renovations? And these were the places where campers would spend their summers, correct?
Yep. They were our sleeping cabins and our shower house.
And this was around the time. And this was around the time that you were starting at Easterseals.
Yes, I actually started almost exactly a year before the build.
Okay.
Yep.
And so it was one of those times where Rick, of course, always likes to look at Sherry and said, you know, can't you think bigger than building one cabin or doing a renovation? And she said, you know, how long would it take to, you know, tear them down? And he said, about 45 minutes. Really, like not that long at all. And so that was 2013, took about 7 days, I believe. And that was Cabins for Campers, the build out there that rebuilt is it 7,000 square foot cabins? Or are they 35? They're
big.
I know they're big, but
they're big. I mean, they sleep 90 each.
Oh my gosh!
So I think so they're large. They are large, kind of lodge style cabins. Yeah. And it's so funny to hear the different versions from Sherry and Rick of the story when Rick came out to tour, and I believe Sherry's initial ask was, if you could just make it so mud and stuff doesn't come into the cabins when it rains. That would
really
be amazing.
Underestimated Rick.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And Rick said, how about instead we tear these down and build some new ones? And I think, I don't know if you've heard this, but it was Sherry's birthday the day that happened. So it was quite an amazing birthday gift. And so, but we hadn't really, those cabins were built, our original ones were built in, 1962, I believe. Yeah. And everything at camp was built with volunteer labor for that initial build back in the early 60s. Right. And we have this running joke with Hubbell that when you put a shovel in the ground out at camp, you're never quite sure what you're going to find, because everything was built with that volunteer labor, and everything wasn't, things weren't really documented the way we do now.
Well, and the scale of the camp has grown so much too that it's changed a lot, and
it just keeps changing.
Yep.
Yes. So it is. So when that build came through, that was really our first kind of big thing that had happened at camp in a while. And so the momentum that came from that, and the supporters that came from that have really stuck with us through these last 13 years has just been really remarkable and really, really neat. And so it really wasn't just the cabins that we got. We really got a whole new look at how incredibly generous our community is, and how we needed to reframe thinking bigger, and how can we really serve people better, and how can we make sure that people are getting what they need. And after those were built, we had many parents that came to us and said, we toured here a couple of years ago and the facilities were just so bad. They were like, we knew the service was great. We knew that our kid would have fun here. We knew that you guys would take great care of them, but I just couldn't send them to that awful shower house.
The infrastructure needed to match the experience and the care.
Exactly. Yeah. So with this build, it did. And we ended up, doubled our attendance on respite weekends. Our camp was always full. So it just really has made a great impact on our ability to provide that service.
Well, and so, of course, we had to come back, right? We took
fun the first time.
I know, it really was fun. And it went so smoothly, and it was, again, it's so cool to see people get excited. And so we were like, we think we need to revisit Easterseals. And at that time, you kind of touched on it earlier, the Child Development Center needs that were slim but growing. The interest was there, and that's also why, Sara, thanks for hanging out with us today. But that's why we brought you in here too, because in 2021 we went out and we decided to build a 13,000 square foot child development center, and that serves kids from 5 weeks old all the way through 6. Is that right?
All the way through kindergarten.
So yes. And so tell us a little bit about that center and what that need is. And then, Sara, I really want your take on Sure. how you got involved with Easterseals too.
Sure. So the center, as I said earlier, we started that with 4 families, and it just kept growing. And I think, for one thing, people kept hearing about the fact that, when their child is at the Easterseals Bob and Billy Ray Child Development Center, one, they're fully integrated. So children with and without disabilities are learning and growing together, which has a really cool effect for both parties. The children with disabilities, they're hitting their milestones faster. They are learning and growing at a faster clip. And then the children without disabilities are learning that a friend is just a friend. A friend is someone that you like to hang out with. A friend is someone that you like to play Legos with, play outside with. It doesn't matter if they look different than you or talk different than you or handle things different than you. A friend is just someone that you enjoy being around. So they go off to school with these wonderful, accepting, kind hearts, and it's just a really beautiful thing. But people were hearing about that. We had huge demand, huge wait lists for that program, and we just really needed more space. And again, that building that we were in was never meant to be a child development center. We did what we could. We did upgrades. We, put in smaller sinks and little potties and things like that. But we really needed a center. We really needed a child development center. So
I think that idea started, again, Sherry being very nice and kind and modest, was like 5,000 square feet, 7,000 square. And then it, just expanded and got to the point where we said that, you had a capacity for 60. and the new build was going to double that to around 120, 128 kids.
Yes.
Which is phenomenal. And Sara, when did you start utilizing Easterseals services and why? And kind of how did you become involved with the CDC?
Yeah. Well, I actually heard about the Bob and Billy Ray Child Development Center through my sister. She sent my niece there over 10 years. So she would have been there for the first extreme build in 2013. But I knew how amazing care my niece had.
Yeah.
And so all I wanted to do was make sure my future kids went to that center. So as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I was like, I gotta get in there. I gotta get in there. So yeah, I contacted Cassidy and we scheduled a tour and everything because I hadn't been there in 10 plus years. And so unfortunately COVID hit and we had to cancel that tour, but I still knew that's where my kids were going to go. So, June of 2020 is when my now 5-year-old started, and he's loved it. He's thriving. No disabilities, but he thrives. He's so smart. He's so smart. And now I also have an almost 2-year-old that's there as well. And again, he's hitting his milestones. He's so advanced, and I love it. I love the teachers. I love the community. It's wonderful.
Well, so you both were around for the 21 build. I mean, everyone knows that extreme builds, they say they start about a year and a half beforehand, behind the scenes. No one gets to see what it's going to do. And then that day comes and you kick it off. And it was I think slated for a 7-day build, but really it was more like 5.5, 6. It went really fast.
It went so fast.
It doesn't hold the record for extreme builds, but it went really, really fast.
They had to get done before the Iowa State game.
That's right.
Oh, that's,
it
I
was
know.
that
It always
Saturday.
butts right up against the Iowa State game. We bring in
always
jumbotrons
does.
and
Yeah.
things.
Yes.
That is so true. And the weather held out for us. That's another
did.
thing where it's like we are always knocking on wood, crossing our fingers, doing all the superstitious things because that can really impact the schedule when you're talking about 30 minutes before, each new delivery is coming or new groups or new trades of hundreds of trade partners are segueing out and switching schedules and, Iowa humidity. Nothing like it today. Our hair is sponsored by Iowa humidity today. That can impact dry time on drywall and paint, all this other stuff. So you have to take in all of these factors with it. But what was it like to see that build go by so quickly? And what was it like from just your perspectives? I know what it was like from mine, but I want to hear yours.
Okay. Well,
Go first.
I mean, for me, I thought it was really neat because I actually remember when Hubbell did the extreme build for the show back in 2006.
Wow.
I actually lived in Waterloo at the time, and
Did
so
you
I was
really?
really close to the build, so
Oh,
I was able to go
cool.
out and take a look at it and see it, and that was such a cool experience.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
And
I
I didn't get a chance to go out there for very long, but it was really cool to see.
Yeah.
And so when I found out that you guys were doing the extreme build at Easterseals, and I'm like, I'm going to be able to see it. It's going to be great. I'm going to be like in there.
Yeah.
But it was very well orchestrated, I want to say, because I was super nervous about the traffic and how are they going to handle everything. And they gave us the signs that we could put on our cars so they didn't have to stop us and we didn't have to check in or anything.
Yeah,
But it
because
was
you guys
so
are still
cool.
dropping off.
We still had to drop off in the old building, and then it was fun. It was interesting to see everything, and my kid loved it because he loves construction vehicles. He just
I think we had, multiple rounds of daily visitors where they just went on walkabouts and to look at what was happening and point at all of the equipment and things and all ages, by the way, because we have, I think, is it Joey?
Oh, Joey.
We have Joey, and he had to put on a high vis vest and a hat, and he wanted to sit in a couple of different areas of the build, and oh man, he was in.
I remember seeing those
Joey.
pictures.
Yes,
oh my
he
goodness.
was.
Yeah, but it was great. He was only 18 months at the time when it was happening, and so he was still developing his voice. Yeah. But he would still just be like, oh, look. Yeah. So he loved it, and I thought they handled it very well. Yeah. I thought it was fabulous.
Well, it was all you guys that
no, it was
orchestrated
not.
everything.
No.
But it was I have such happy memories of both builds. But the Child Development Center one, it was neat because we had done it once before, and we still had many of the same people on the team, and so I think one having done it before and kind of knowing what we were walking into and being able to work with you guys again, all of it. It was so much fun, but a couple of the things that really stand out in my mind, and you have to remember that so many of these people that are coming in to do the work are volunteering their time, or their company is covering the cost, or whatever that is. So much of it is donated that we didn't want to miss an opportunity to thank the people that were there, but people were coming in and out so quickly. And I think sometimes, so your boss tells you to show up and put up some drywall, right? You don't really know where you're going. You're not sure. I don't know how much information they had in advance, but I know you could see when they got there that they could see what a special thing that they were doing and how it was going to really impact people. And of course, Cassidy, our Child Development Center director, true to the early childhood educator that she is, took it as a learning opportunity for the children. Yep. There was, like you said, there were daily field trips out to the to the safe portion of the viewing area, and of course, and the kids got to learn about construction that week. And how cool is that? Now, I think they might go off with some unrealistic expectations into the world of how quickly these things can happen.
Maybe a little bit, but also showing them that it can be done.
It can happen. Anything you set your mind to can happen. So it was just so cool. And then I will never forget walking in there. I can't remember what day it was, but it was whatever day. There's a big sunshine painted on the wall of the entrance.
Yeah, that would have been towards the end of it, probably.
And I just cried and cried because I knew that we were almost there. And all I could think about was, we're going to be able to support double the number of children now. And having known for the last several years how often we heard, we need more childcare. We've got to have more quality childcare in our market. And, COVID was a huge eye-opener, I think, for a lot of people. Absolutely. Understanding what the real need was. And it's just, sometimes we can provide new services and serve more people without new buildings, and sometimes we got to have new buildings. And this was one of those times, and having that, it was such a tremendous gift. And it was just the best. It was so neat. And I mean, the Child Development Center is my favorite place to go on tours because there's nothing cuter than our children at the Child Development Center.
So cute.
Knowing that we were going to have even more cutie patootie kiddos coming in, it was a great day. It was a great day.
Once that opened, which I know you needed to get your footings, we got everything cleaned and set and whatever. And when you guys opened, how long did it take to reach that next wave of capacity for you guys?
Well, that's a great question, because we had, obviously, as we were planning for the build, we were also planning for this huge influx that's a lot. It's doubling your capacity is not a small feat. We needed more staff. We needed more of everything. Right. So we were planning for, we were writing grants for all, new toys and new things like that. All of these things had to be considered. And we had a 3-year ramp up plan to getting from 60 children to 128 children. It happened in 6 months. That's how desperately people needed the service. So our Child Development Center director, I could sing her praises all day long. She's amazing. Her name's Cassidy. She's been with us, for 20 some years, started in our respite program straight out of college, and has just grown that program to what it is. Yeah. And she just got right to it. She was like, okay, these people need support. And we've got to, and now we once again, we're at a wait list. Just because there is big need in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. So. And you're a lucky one that gets to be there.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, as soon as I found out I was pregnant with my second, I immediately went to Cassidy and said, hey, FYI, I'm going to need a spot in January. So she's like, all right, I got you on the list. So yeah, love Cassidy.
Yes, she's amazing.
Same thing. I'll sing praises to her. She's fantastic.
Oh, I love that.
Gets it done. I love the staff there. They're fantastic.
Well, you guys, you work magic, and I know you don't give yourself a lot of pat on the back. Sometimes you give a lot of it to the other team members, but seriously, everyone we've always worked with at Easterseals has just been, from parents to staff to Sherry, every which way has been amazing, and we've always enjoyed it. Okay, we're going to switch gears just a little bit. I want people to know how they can get more involved with Easterseals Iowa, and what are some of the opportunities that you've had as a parent there, but also what are some maybe upcoming volunteer ops this year, next year? What does that look like?
Absolutely. Can I share one really quick story about the Child Development Center? And then I promise I will answer your question. But this is my favorite Child Development Center story because I think it just encapsulates everything that we're trying to do there. And so my office in our old building many years ago, this was when we were in the old center, looked out kind of on the meadow area, and you would always know when the kids from the CDC were going to go to the pool or going to head on a nature walk, because you would hear them just like running out, like the doors would fly open and this wave of children would come running out into the meadow. And so it caught my eye one day. I was just working away and I looked out, and there was a little boy at the time. He was 2 years old. His name is Wesley, and Wesley had Down syndrome. And so part of that is that like gross motor, he just didn't always move as quickly as the other children. And, he may have been 3. And so I'm sorry. But one of the things that we believe is that if you're 3 years old, you're with your 3-year-old peers. We're not, even though developmentally you might be more like 18 months, we're going to keep you with your 3-year-old peers. So that will help you to get to those milestones quickly. So anyway, they were all running out, and I'm sorry, I get choked up every time I do this, but Wesley fell down. And the coolest thing is that every single one of those children that were with him stopped without a single person telling them to. Not a single teacher directed them to do this. They stopped. They slowed down. They went back. A couple of kids grabbed his hand, helped him up, and then they slowed their pace to walk alongside of him. And it was just the coolest thing, because it really does. It speaks to exactly what we're trying to do there, and supporting all children to be their best selves. Yeah. And he was being his best self, and my gosh, those kids were being their best selves too. Stopping, helping that little boy, and walking at his pace. It was just it was just the coolest thing. Sorry, I said I always say I'm not going to cry when I
never be sorry for sharing such a good story. It's you guys have daily reminders that I don't think all of us get in our own fields, own lives necessarily, of these beautiful moments that really are all about just helping people be kind, be like you said, friends come in all shapes and sizes, and I just think that what you do is beautiful work.
Story. It's the teachers down there. It's the parents that come in. It is that community that builds that, and kids are always great reminders of the good that there is in the world. So that's, I'm sorry, I couldn't go past the CDC without sharing that story. It's my favorite CDC story, and I was happy to witness it. But
we had so many moments where kids came in, or caregivers, or your staff that came in, and they openly shared stories with our trades who are on site, with our teams. And I mean, you never see the construction men cry more than they do during Extreme Build Week, because everyone ends up hearing a story that you're 1 degree of separation away from something or someone that has had to utilize these services or needs to utilize them, and you're thinking, how can I get them involved, or how can I get them here?
Absolutely.
So I've seen so many.
Yes.
Did you think of another story?
No, but I realized I did not answer your question, and I will answer your question. And
I want people to know how they can get involved. Because you guys have so many programs in the community, in the camp, all sorts. So how can they get to you?
So the first thing is they can visit our website. It's easterseals.com/IA, and just kind of look around and see what kind of piques their interest. But we have a very robust volunteer program. So we have opportunities to volunteer directly with our clients. We have opportunities just to come out and kind of help us maintain our beautiful 40 acres that we utilize. There's a lot of cleanup that needs to happen out there. We do a lot of we have a lot of corporate groups that come out and that like literally will rake leaves all day. It takes all day. We have a lot of trees. We have groups that come out and do crafts with clients or have a kickball tournament with them. We love when local business people specifically, or especially individuals in various trades will allow a group of like our teenage students or our teenage clients to come in and job shadow. Yeah. We really start working on that very early with our high school kids that we support, thinking about what's the next step, what happens after graduation, and get them thinking about, college isn't right for everyone. So is there a way to help these kids transition directly into the workforce as opposed to going to like a day program or something like that? We really work on that. So if someone's willing to let a group of our kids come in and job shadow and kind of get an idea of what that is, that's amazing. Or come in, we start talking about work really early. We start talking about it when the kids are at the CDC. Yeah. We have people come in and do career talks, dentists, different people come in and talk about what they do. So getting the kids thinking about what do I want to be when I grow up? So there's a plethora of ways to volunteer. We have our special events, which we have several special events. There's something for everyone. Kind of our two big ones we just got done with, our gala and our regatta. Those are during the summer and they are so fun. And Hubbell walked away with,
what did we win? I wrote it down because
Larry
I was like,
Kotler Sunnyside Spirit Award. That's a big deal.
I was not a cheerleader in school, but you can bet I was cheering. I was cheering.
You guys were amazing.
It was fun.
It was so fun.
And I'll say our president and COO, Kyle Gamble, also won. What did he get? The Admiral's race. Yes. Mm-hmm. We were very proud winners of that. So we really came out and represented this year at the regatta.
Did.
But it is inevitably 95 degrees.
You
go and you're like, I'm going to sweat today, but it's going to be fun.
Yes. I always look forward to sometimes we'll just go and stand in our cooler for a few minutes when the event is done because it's so hot. But
where'd Krable go? She's standing
in the cooler. I don't care to be hot, so that's always a rough day for me. But it's so much fun. So we just got done with those. We have our fall festival is coming up October 11th. Perfect. We have our annual celebration is in November. We really have stuff kind of going on all year. And then I will take the opportunity to plug 2026 is our 100-year celebration, and we're so excited. And so we're going to be doing things every month. So we have a lot more coming for that. I'll get all that to you once we have everything up and running. We'll have a separate website all just for that.
Awesome.
So really looking forward to celebrating this incredible history that we've had in our community with our community. So
you guys turn 100. We turn 170. That's so cool. Wow, we're so old.
We're getting so old.
Which is that's a compliment these days, I'm pretty sure. But
it is. We've made it.
Oh, yes. I love it. Well, people can also support, obviously, through the upcoming Extreme Golf Charity Classic. So by the time this airs, registration's closed, but that doesn't mean that there aren't still ways to give. General donations can be given at any time via our website, which is in the show notes, or your website that's in the show notes as well. Awesome. But you could also participate in what we have added this year is called a 50-50 drone drop raffle. So we always like to bring in and kind of keep it fun. Maybe we'll bring in a pro who swings the ball for you and drives it 400 yards or something ridiculous like that. But this year we're doing a drone drop. So the drone will pick up your ball and you can basically donate, and whoever gets closest to the hole gets half of the pot and the other half goes to the organization. And seriously, it's been a hit so far, and we are not even to the big day. And that is a great way for people to continue to give, have a little bit of fun, potentially get a little bit back themselves, actually. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be a really fun day. It will also inevitably be very, very hot. On the 21st of August. So we've set records. It's looking like this is going to be a record-breaking event too. So
awesome.
I'm very excited.
That's so awesome.
Well, is there anything else that you guys want to cover? Anything else that Easter, people should really know about Easterseals and all the great work you do? We're just so thankful to be long-term partners of yours and have you on, and thank you for sharing your experiences as a parent utilizing these services, because I mean, there are so many, like you said, so many people who maybe, need these services, don't realize everything that you do and what you cover, but there are resources and there are people here for you.
Absolutely. Do you have anything?
Well, I was just going to add into the regatta and how amazing that was, because I've done that the last couple of years too with my company. So
I love that.
It's great. And I've pulled weeds. So
we've done plenty of landscaping.
Definitely have volunteered out there, and it's a great organization.
I'll
support it till the day I die.
It's a good volunteer opportunity to get out in nature too, and just kind of
get out of work
and help it. Get out of work is right.
Absolutely.
I love that. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on. Again, we'll put a lot of these resources in the show notes and make sure that we can share it far and wide, because you are a hidden gem. And we love everything that you do. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, thanks so much for letting us be here today and for putting one of the challenges that we face is that people don't know what we do. They've heard of Easterseals, but they're like, yeah, I've heard of them. I don't know what they do. So any opportunity to kind of share that information with people is just a huge gift for us. So thank you.
Dig It, a real estate podcast by Hubbell Realty Company, is produced by Amplify Des Moines. Check us out wherever you get your podcast. Find us on YouTube at Hubbell Realty. Check us out on our website at hubbellrealty.com. And of course, like, subscribe, follow, and share across all social media platforms.